Good morning, everyone. This is Rahul Sharma, Vedic practitioner from Chicago. Today, I will be releasing my video number 152 about the Chandra Mantra, moon deity in box 18 of Sarvatobhadra Mandal. This has been taken from the Karmkand Bhaskar, the book authored and published by my Gurudev Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya, Mata Bhakti Devi Sharma. Page 93 has this mantra. As you see, this is how the Sarvatobhadra Mandal looks like. You can have a image of it, create a card, keep in your pocket. The box number 18, if you see in sequence, there's a moon, Chandrama. It represents the mental peace, cooling energy, and emotional balance. So let's understand what the mantra talks about it. In the Karmkand Bhaskar, the Sanskrit mantra or shloka for this Chandrama is Om Imam Deva Asapatnam Tam Swadhyam Mahate Shatray Mahate ज्येष्ठ्याय महते जान राजाय इंद्र सिय इंद्रियाय इमं मुष्य पुत्र पुष्ये पुत्र मष्ये विष ऐश ओमि राजा सोमो अस्माकं ब्राह्मणाना राजा. In literal Hindi meaning, हे देवगण, इसे शत्रुहीन बनाए, महान शक्ति, महान श्रेष्ठता, महान जन राज्य और इंद्र की शक्तियों के लिए. यह राजा सोम हमारे ब्राह्मणों का राजा है. लाभ इसका क्या है? यह मंत्र मन की शांति, शीतलता और भावनात्मक संतुलन प्रदान करता है. चंद्रमा की तरह शीतल ऊर्जा लाता है. मानसिक स्थिरता, रात्रि विश्राम और कल्पना शक्ति विकसित करता है. In English, meaning is, O divine ones, make this one without enemies, for great power, great supremacy, great people's kingdom, and Indra's strength. This King Soma is the king of our Brahmana, which is the wise one. The benefit is this month provides mental peace, cooling energy, and emotional balance, brings soothing energy like the moon, and develops mental stability, restful sleep, and creative ideas. In Gujarati, this is the meaning and the benefit at the bottom. Now, from the perspective of Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya, when he retained this mantra in the Karmkand Bhaskar while doing all the analysis of entire Vedas and Puran and translated into Hindi, he taught that Chandra or moon or Som we call it represents the mind, the man and emotional intelligence. While Surya is consciousness and clarity, Chandra is intuition and receptivity. The mantra requests for not having any enemies, which refers to the inner peace, a mind without internal conflict. That's what the Shatru or enemies means. In his writing on Vedic deities, Gurudev explained Soma is also called Raja or King of the Brahman because wisdom requires both. It requires Surya's discrimination power and Chandra's compassion. The sun reveals the truth harshly, the moon reveals it gently. So we need a combination of that. A mind that is without internal enemies of doubt, fear, anxiety can receive divine wisdom as the moon receives and reflects the sunlight. So there's a relationship between moon and sun, and that's actually in our mind. From Mansik Rog or Unka Nidan, a Hindi book from the Gurudev, Chandra consciousness means emotional balance. You must have heard many people tell to have pearl wear in the finger ring if somebody is having a lot of anger. I don't know whether pearl really works or not. Gurudev has not written about that in terms of wearing the ring of pearl, but definitely thinking about the moon, chanting about this mantra, meditating on the moon, that's definitely going to give you calmness and emotional balance. We call it Chandra Sadhana for the balanced mind. So this mantra will invoke of great power, great supremacy, represent the Vichar Kranti vision of mental mastery. How? During invocation, call upon emotional intelligence, intuitive wisdom, and mental peace. For establishment, create daily practice of mindfulness, meditation, emotional regulation. And for meditate on this mantra means reflect on the waxing, waning nature of all things, cultivating the equanimity. So this transforms us from being tossed by emotional storms into stable centers of peace like the moon that influence tide yet remains unmoved. We affect others through calmness rather than agitation. So in our home also, if you're looking for peace, we need to stay calm and emotionally balanced. So in Hindi, those who want to read this book, Mansik Rog or Unka Nidan, it chapters on mental health and emotional balance, and Gayatri Mahavigyan on the mind role in the spiritual evolution. But let's talk about some of the examples in the world who has, without knowing that, they have intuitively followed this Chandra Mantra uh, true meaning. So Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, embodies the Chandra's compassionate leadership. She invoked emotional intelligence in crisis, established empathetic governance during Christchurch tragedy and COVID, and meditates on the principle that strength includes kindness. Her politics of kindness demonstrates Chandra consciousness, the moon's gentle power. Her response to Christchurch mosque shooting, wearing hijab in solidarity, immediately banning assault weapons and saying they are us showed without enemies mindset, refusing to create division even with terrorists. Like Soma as Raja of Brahman, she led with wisdom and compassion. Her decision to resign to prioritize mental health model healthy boundaries. As a benefit, led New Zealand through multiple crises with lowest COVID death per capita among developed nations and groundbreaking climate legislation. Youngest female head of government proved that emotional intelligence can bring effective leadership. That's one example to resonate with this teaching. The second example is the Fred Rogers or Mr. Rogers, children educator. Fred Rogers embodied the Chandra's nurturing wisdom for 50 years. He invoked emotional safety for children, established Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, teaching emotional literacy, and meditated daily. His Presbyterian ministry focused on honoring feelings. His gentle approach was pure Chandra consciousness. His famous words, "There is no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are," create without enemies, in millions of children teaching self-acceptance without internal conflict, like the moon's cooling presence. He soothed anxiety. He testified before Senate to save PBS, winning over skeptical politicians through quiet authenticity. The Soma's gentle power influencing the powerful. You can see how everything relates knowingly, unknowingly with the Chandra Mantra prescribed in our Vedic culture 5,000 years ago. As a benefit, Fred Rogers influenced three generations over 895 episodes, pioneered social emotional learning, received Presidential Medal of Freedom, created lasting impact on child development, and proved that gentle, emotional, balanced communication transformed the societal aggression. Now, Gurudev book, as I already mentioned, Mansik Rog Uska Nidan, is available on a Spiritual B. This is a comprehensive guide on mental health and explain how the moon can govern the mind and emotions. And Gurudev has detailed how emotional imbalance create mental illness and how Chandra consciousness, cultivating the inner peace, restore the mental health. Connect ancient wisdom on emotional regulation to modern psychology. Now let's talk about some of the books. If you cannot read Hindi books from Gurudev, but if you go ahead and read the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman and The Gift of Imperfection by Brené Brown, you will get the same insight about the emotional balance. So the Harvard psychologist Goleman's groundbreaking work shows how emotional question matters more than intelligent question for success. It relates to Chandra Mantra, directly teaches without having inner conflict or enemies by transforming emotional reactivity into emotional intelligence, and shows how moon-like receptivity and reflection creates leadership power more effective than sun-like aggression. Same thing, the second book by Brené Brown, The Gift of Imperfection. It embodies Soma's teaching that wisdom or the Brahma consciousness include compassion for ourselves and others. It shows how gentle self-acceptance or Chandra's cooling energy heals inner conflict and creates authentic supremacy. I think this will be enough for you to pay attention to this kind of mantra and add an extra atom into your life to revise and understand the true meaning of Chandra Mantra. have this card of Sarvatobhadra Mandal in your wallet, and then chant this mantra, especially if you cultivate the emotional intelligence and inner peace. You want to develop your intuition and receptivity, and managing your stress and achieving mental balance and creating the compassionate leadership. As I mentioned, these two books can help you if you cannot read Hindi book written by Gurudev. And then if you want a complete list of the books I am recommending in every video, I'm compiling everything in this PowerPoint. You can click on this link and get to the access. And if any question, reach out to me at rahulrenusharma@gmail.com. Thank you.